Three, two, one. What's going on, everyone? You're watching another episode of Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and today we've got Marvel Previews, issue 27. This is for October, for December 2019 shipping. Oh, look at this. Incoming. One will unite them. Ooh, look at this cover. So this is apparently what Pat Gleason is being used for over at Marvel since his infamous departure from DC. Uh, yeah, this is not what I think of. I like Pat Gleason a lot. I feel like he belongs at DC. He seems to have a DC style. This is fair enough art, but it doesn't excite me. And moving along. Now, if you've been here, is that really the first page? Jeez, if you've been watching these videos before, you know they can run quite a bit long. And I don't know how long this is going to turn out. I apologize ahead of time. I don't read these ahead of time. I don't script it. I don't plan it. These videos are basically me plopping open the previews mag and going along and reacting with it in real time with you, letting you guys see it. Same time I'm seeing it, you're going to have your own reactions. I'm going to have my reactions. Sometimes they'll match. Sometimes they'll differ. Please don't take any of my negativity. If I see something that I think is trash, I tend to be kind of hyperbolic on things. You know, if something's bad, then I drill down. Oh, that's terrible. You know, if something's good, I try to really like hype that up and be enthusiastic about it as well. I don't think anyone wants to watch me sit around and be milquetoast on everything. You know, I know it's going to cause some people to be like, "Oh, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about" and whatever. But I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to come off that way. I'm not presenting this show for you or this episode as any sort of authority on comics. I'm a comic fan dating back to the mid '80s, and I have my tastes. I have my reasons why I have my tastes, and hopefully you're a comic fan too. And I believe sharing perspectives and just talking about books is part of the fun of the hobby. So let's get moving. Preview pages from incoming number 1. Well, I'm not going to read this like a comic review, but all right. You can pause it and read it, I guess. Oh, looks all right, I guess. I don't know what this is. It looks like the question. This kind of reminds me of the question, and that's kind of a problem I have immediately. It's like, really, is that what we're doing, Marvel? We're just, oh well. I guess I'll give it a shot and be open minded. I don't know what this is. Everything I'm hearing about this though doesn't give me very much faith. Look at all these creators that are part of it. Dang it, controlling your iPad sucks. Look at these creators: Al Ewing, Dan Slott, Chip Zdarsky, Kelly Thompson, Greg Pak, Evel Ewing, Matt Rosenberg, Ed Brisson, Saladin Ahmed, Teeny Howard, Jonathan Hickman, Greg Pak, Donnie Cates, and Jason Aaron. That is way too many chefs in the kitchen. Way too many. This is nonsense. That's a huge red flag. Okay? There should not be this many people on a story. Sorry. This screams repeat of the same problems that Marvel 1000 has, minus the whole fake 1000th issue to gimmick people out of money. So, man, they're really just putting on the previews here. Oh, I like this cover. Is this J. Scott Campbell? Yeah, he's been getting a lot of flack lately. Look at, for his depiction of women. You're not respecting biology. That's not how real women look. It's like, do you people not realize you're looking at cartoon characters? Look at the Hulk. That's not how a real person looks either. Okay? These are cartoon characters. This is fantasy. If you cannot appreciate stylistic drawings of fantasy characters that are in cartoons, the problem is you, not J. Scott Campbell. So, man, they just doing this. Oh, look, J. Scott Campbell Wolverine. Yeah. I would say Psylocke, you're looking good, but that's not Psylocke. They destroyed Psylocke. Well, you know, it's Mohawk Storm, so maybe it is. No, it can't be. I do like the Spidey Mary Jane image. That's good. Bring us back to old classic comics we love. Quit destroying it with this modern nonsense. All right, here, look. On the right-hand side, we've got Annihilation. This is the event that's coming right on the heels of Absolute Carnage. I love Silver Surfer. I love cosmic stuff. I'm not going to touch this with a 10-foot pole. Why? Look at the bottom here. Annihilation Scourge, Nova #1. Annihilation Scourge, Silver Surfer #1. Every issue of this event is a #1. I'm not kidding. So when you don't respect your product, don't expect me to respect your product, right? And Marvel doesn't respect their product. They are out there to gimmick. They're out there to scam fans of money, and I'm not going to be a part of it. It sucks because there's people over at Marvel that are just trying to do a good job. They're trying to write good comics. Look, here we go. Beta Ray, Annihilation Scourge, Beta Ray Bill #1. Annihilation Scourge, Fantastic Four #1. They already been testing the waters with this. They just did a Prodigal Son miniseries where every issue was a #1. And it sucks because you can't file these away in your comic book box and then come back, you know, maybe a year. Maybe it is a really good story, right? You're like, oh, it's so good. I really liked it. You file it away in your comic book box. And, I mean, I guess you could file them in the order, but maybe they get out of order. And you want to read them. Now you got to open up each. You got to file a reading list now to remember which goes with which. No, just put a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a 5-issue miniseries event. Put the damn numbers on there. You know, Annihilation Scourge #1, Annihilation Scourge #2, Annihilation Scourge #3. Why is it so hard to do that? Because Marvel is hemorrhaging money. They don't make money. They can barely afford to pay their staff. They have the worst page rates in the mainstream industry. And they rely on these sort of death throw gimmicks. That really sad. I really do like this depiction of Beta Ray Bill, however. Look at that. That whole piece right there with the Fantastic Four, actually, that's pretty sick. Might turn that into a wallpaper. All right. No. Control. We must have control. I want it on single page. There we go. Annihilation Scourge boxes because you got to pay. Oh, look at that. There's $10 MSRP per box, it looks like. Giant size Defenders #3 facsimile edition. I don't care about facsimile editions. They're another rip-off scam. Marvel Tales Annihilation #1. Tie in with the Annihilation. Here we get another #1. Everything a part of this will be a #1. Annihilation True Believers months, and of course these will all be #1s. I love how they reprint old comics into a #1. You know, it's just like True Believers Annihilation Omega the Unknown #1. You know, that Incredible Hulk. Oh, it was a Quasar. Why does it say Incredible Hulk but Quasar #1? Nothing even makes sense over at Marvel. Conan Serpent War #1 and 2 of 4. All right, so Conan is fighting. Oh, it's not even a Conan book. Look, you can see modern buildings. What? James Alice. What the hell is this? An unprecedented comics event. Robert E. Howard's characters join forces along with Marvel's Moon Knight in an all-new saga built on Robert E. Howard and Marvel lore from across the ages. Oh God, no. All right, moving on. If I'm going really fast, I apologize. You're going, no, Ash, you're going way too slow. I feel like I'm blasting through things I know because this is going to be long, and I'm really trying not to have an hour-long video. Cyclops storms the Savage Land. I'm really loving House and Powers of X. Um, it's it's really great. I have some caveats which I explain in my videos on them, but man, Jonathan Hickman's doing some powerful storytelling. I do have very strong concerns about the future of the X-Men series of taking off from this, because just because it gives us a really great miniseries, which it is, doesn't mean that the actual ongoing stuff is going to be great, especially when you bring in all these crap writers to carry the torch. And X-Men is not even really going to be X-Men. And this is another thing. I was like, why would you do this? X-Men is going to just be these one-shot stories featuring mutants. It's like, no, that's not the way X-Men should be. X-Men should be the flagship title. It feels like they put most of the actual X-Men into X-Force, right? And they made all these different X teams. You got the Marauders, you've got the Fallen Angels, you got X-Force, you got the New Mutants, and then X-Men, from what it seems like, is going to like encompass all of them, and they're going to have like one sort of like flagship book that Hickman writes to kind of, where all the other books will kind of just fall in line like in tow, which is, I guess, good that he's keeping in direction. But I want an X-Men book where it's the X-Men doing X-Men things, not they're not the X. I don't know. It's anyways, New Mutants. I hate these characters. I look at this cover and I go, oh God, please, I don't want to read this. Then I look at this cover and I'm like, oh, Cannonball, Sunspot. These guys graduated. They should be X-Force. That was the whole point of X-Force. Why are we reverting? Why? They're not the New Mutants. Fallen Angel, Psylocke's past threatens her new team. That's not Psylocke. That's not Psylocke. I wish it were. I hate that they broke her and put her back to old Betsy Braddock that was broken originally, and Jim Lee fixed her and made her amazing. Like, but no, they had to go. And then Kid Cable. Are you kidding me? Kid Cable. That's his name, according to Brian Hill, who's the writer. Which, by the way, Brian Hill's fantastic. Nothing against Brian Hill. I just think the subject matter here, X-23, I hate this character. This is fake Psylocke. It's Quanon. And then we've got Kid Cable. I just want one Cable. I want it to be Cable. The old man who's seen the future. He's battled with Apocalypse. You know, he's got, you know, the technovirus infecting him. He's fought them. You know, he is representative of all the things that are like the future of the X-Men face, the detriments, the things that are happening in House and Powers of X right now. The three fates, you know, the fall of mutants from the machines, facing essentially themselves, like the evil mutants, like destroying themselves, and then the Phalanx. Cable is all three of those things, and he comes from the future with knowledge and things on how to stop it. I don't want a kid version of him. The kid version of him fought in the year 3000 in the world of Apocalypse, which, by the way, if you've never read that, go track down. It's by Scott Lobdell. It's the Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix. Fantastic story. X-Force. Benjamin Percy. I don't know. Yay, Jean Grey is wearing the Cerebro mask now. Yeah, just none of this really. Apocalypse being part of the X-Men. It's not X-Men, it's just Excalibur. Whatever. They're all really now X-Men. They're just like different branches. No. God. And there's our girl, Betsy Braddock. Psylocke is now Captain Britain. Yay. Because we can't have actual Captain Britain be Captain Britain. He's got too many testicles for that. The new Black Bishop of the HELLFIRE Club. Um, please tell me. Are you kidding me? Did you just make Bishop the Black Bishop of Hellfire Club? Oh, God. Sebastian Shaw recruits a new Black Bishop, continuing with his machinations against the two queens of the Hellfire Club. Meanwhile, Captain Kate and her marauders. Captain Kate? Oh, God. And her marauders wreak havoc on the high seas from the Atlantic to the Pacific in the name of the mutant cause. Oh, please. Please tell me. Please tell me Greta Thunberg joins the marauders. Spider-Man 2099. Here's another. So Marvel is all about events now. It's just events, 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 events. So right after Annihilation, my understanding is they're jumping into 2099. And here we have the first one, Spider-Man 2099 number 1. There's a reason why we don't have 2099 books. They weren't that really successful. I don't know why we're going into this, but Marvel seems intent on just redoing. It's literally insanity. What's the definition of insanity? It's like if you keep trying the same thing and expecting different results. That's Marvel. 80 years ago, the Marvel Universe began. 80 years from now is 2099. Ooh, catch how they do that? Now, this is a cool pick. I like Tony Daniel, not as much as some people, but I love Doctor Doom and Spider-Man. So seeing Tony Daniel draw this is pretty cool. I wish there wasn't all that white space in the back. Ghost Rider 2099. Not all characters need to be in 2099, by the way. I think the more that they just replicate the current exact Marvel Universe and just say, there's a 2099 version of it, the sillier it becomes. I much liked it in the original 2099 when they did back in the 90s, where they had some characters, like Spider-Man and the X-Men were part of the 2099, but then you had new characters like Ravage, and you had the Doom being a hero instead of a villain, like some different things, and you weren't sure if Doom actually was the Doom from the original Doom. You didn't know who he was. I thought that was really cool. But now it's just, hey, see all the characters you love today? Well, we got 2099 versions of them. I'm just like, no, that's not creative. Doom 2099. Now this was my favorite of the 2099 books, and I was gonna skip all this nonsense, but then I looked and I saw the name. Chip Zdarsky's writing it. He's easily top 3 writer at Marvel right now, and he's the guy that actually got me to buy Marvel books with his fantastic Spider-Man life story miniseries. One of the best Spider-Man stories I've ever read. So I do like Doom 2099. Maybe I'll give this a shot. Maybe. Venom 2099, Jody Hauser. Why is Venom still oh, stupid. 2099 Omega number 1. Nick Spencer. Pass. So Doctor Strange is getting a reboot with the exact same creative team because that's how Marvel does things. It's like, oh, sales are decreasing. Quick, start the numbering over. And everyone just like, oh, I'll buy it. Why do you guys, I'm talking to you guys as fans, why do you let this happen? For me, I just jump off. If I was a Doctor Strange fan and a Mark Waid fan, and that series is going, the last issue would be my last issue, right? They'd be like, what, you're a Mark Waid fan, why wouldn't you just continue? I'm tired of being bilked for money with gimmicks. I want quality comics, and I want to collect a run. Like I said before, if you can't respect your product, why should I? And for me, there's too many good comics right now that I can't afford. My pull list is already busting at the seams. I'm looking for excuses to drop books. It's very difficult because I kind of have this OCD. I don't like to drop runs or have holes or whatever. But when they do stuff like this, it's like, oh, perfect. I can now cancel it, and I don't have to. I have the entire run. I don't have to worry. And I'm not going to jump on and throw a bunch of money at another potentially 12-issue run, which will be rebooted a year from now. I'm done with that, Marvel. Like, I want ongoing comics. Ongoing. Oh, look at this. Oh, cringe cover. Doctor Strange, Surgeon Supreme. No, pass. This should have been a story arc. They could have had Doctor Strange, um, in the current run, and just had the subtitle like they do. Remember when they did Nightfall? They didn't make Batman Nightfall its whole like new reboot. Surgeon Supreme could have just been a big long new story arc in the current Doctor Strange. Revenge of the Cosmic Ghost Rider. Dennis Hopeless Hallam. God, that guy embraces the Hopeless name, and you don't do that unless you're amazing, right? Like Donny Cates could have the Hopeless name because you just be like, oh, Donny, you give us so much hope. But when you are hopeless, don't embrace it. Don't do that. Um, I'm torn. I really liked Donny Cates' original Cosmic Ghost Riders miniseries. That was, by all accounts, I should not have liked that, but Donny Cates was such a talent. Him being a co-writer of this book makes me think, maybe this will be okay. Maybe, but again, my pull list is busting at the seams. It's not, being okay is not good enough for me. It's got to be awesome. Who's the Jeff Shaw? Scott Hepburn, Jeff Shaw. I like. We'll see. I'm gonna pay more. I'm gonna put this on my radar. But Thor: The Worthy, #1, $5. Is this a one shot? Oh God, no. No. You got Simonson to write She-Thor. Why? She's not even Thor anymore. Why is... No. Pass. I love you, Walt Simonson. You're the greatest Thor writer ever, and one of the best Thor artists ever. Walt Simonson's Thor run is like Chris Claremont to X-Men and Frank Miller to Daredevil. It's seminal. Everything should be based around it. Every person that comes onto Thor should be going back to that and saying, this is the Bible for Thor. How do we do Thor right? I'm pass. Punisher Soviet. Garth Ennis. Oh, that sounds cool. I didn't know Punisher was political. And Soviet, man. That's like, what are we going back to the 80s? It's a miniseries. I don't like miniseries. I'll keep my eye on this, and maybe if it's good, check out the trade. Scream. I had zero interest in Scream. I think symbiotes are overdone right now. It's a pretty cool cover, but no. The Scream little mini series that's part of the Absolute Carnage is just boring and mediocre. I'm really enjoying Absolute Carnage, but that's because Donny Cates is writing an amazing story. But I want it over. When it's over, I want it over. The only symbiote I want standing at the end is Venom. The more symbiotes you have, the more diluted it gets, and the less each symbiote matters. Venom should be the only one left. Venom matters. Well, he's evolved now. Donny Cates has really changed him. But the reason why Venom was so cool wasn't because he was just a symbiote and was because of his relationship with Spider-Man. It made for a really interesting villain. This is the thing that knew Spider-Man's secrets. It didn't trigger his spider senses, and it had an emotional tie, which caused this motivation against Spider-Man. Eddie Brock also had his own motivations as well. But the symbiote had this sort of love for Spider-Man as well. And it was like a lover scorned. It wanted to get revenge, but it could never pull the trigger in doing the ultimate. It couldn't like kill him. So sometimes when Eddie Brock would try to, go too far, the symbiote would pull him back and hold him back. And that was really a really cool dynamic, and it made the character feel three-dimensional. And then they were like, hey, everyone likes symbiotes. Let's just open the floodgate of symbiotes. And now symbiotes are just dumb. It's like, oh, now there's 1 billion symbiotes out there. Literally, there's a planet of symbiotes. And I'm not saying a planet that has a bunch of symbiotes. I'm saying the planet is literally there's so many symbiotes, they form a ball. Scream, Curse of Carnage. This is a terrible cover. Morbius. Um, this is not labeled as a miniseries, um, but yes, it's gonna be a miniseries. What? No one wants this. Why? This is my problem. You can't keep Doctor Strange going. So, but you're gonna make ongoings like Morbius. This, no one wants this. Yes, it's gonna. The first couple issues will sell a little bit because it's a new thing, and you're gonna have speculators who buy every number one, buying it up. You're gonna have, people who like, oh, it's something new. I want to check it out. They're gonna buy it. But it's written by Vita Ayala. It's dead on delivery. This this is gonna be. It's a crap character with an even worse writer, and I'm sure the art is probably terrible. You didn't put a good artist on this, so yeah. Why? And then it's gonna get canceled, but they're gonna be like, no, 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 it was a mini series all along. Like, I love they do. They never cancel anything. Deadpool used to be Scotty Young, which is a true talent in the industry, but he's left the title. And in true Marvel fashion, when you put a new person on the book, you don't just put a new person on the book. You give them their own book, the new number one. Kelly Thompson is going to be trash, which sucks because Chris Bachalo is an immense talent, one of the best artists in the industry. He's been since the 90s. I know some people don't really like his style because he has got a weird style, but he's a tremendous artist. Ghost Rider, Ed Brisson. Ed Brisson's a decent writer from what I understand. So hopefully Ghost Rider fans will get some good stories. I've never been a Ghost Rider guy, so it's just not been my jam. So, Doctor Doom. This bothers me. Doctor Doom is one of my favorite characters ever, especially in comics. And I don't like this trend in modern comics to glorify the villains and to tear down heroes. The modern progressive writers, they tend to do these things. Cap's got to be, a Nazi, and Thor's unworthy. Iron Man is, we'll go kill him off. And Hulk. No, we got to replace him with the much better, cooler, the Gogurt Hulk kid. All the heroes in Marvel. Look at Spider-Man. Had to tear him down, turn him into loser. He lost his company. He's living on a couch of his girlfriend. Just slumming it. It's like, oh man, look, I get in reality these things happen to people, right? I'm not here to judge anyone individually, but this is a comic book. This is fiction. Nothing needs to happen but what the writers make it happen. So if Peter Parker's a loser, it's not because he tried and failed. It's because the writers wanted him to fail. Do you see the difference? People in real life have hardships and troubling times, and they go through things. They're not superheroes. They don't have comics written about them. They're real. They're not scripted. Meanwhile, while this is happening, we're seeing more and more books made about villains and idolizing the villain. You can see over at DC, man, they are just pumping the gas. I don't know that's not pumping the brakes. They're just stepping on the gas for Harlequin, right? Now they got Harley Quinn in another series with, what's her name? Poison Ivy. They're running around. It's like, they aren't heroes. We should not be idolizing villains. Oh, but we sympathize with the villains. Yet, no, modern wackadoos sympathize with villains. And I like Doctor Doom, but I like him as a villain. I like watching him be the tremendous, awesome threat against the Fantastic Four and the rest of the Marvel Universe. Great villains make for great heroes. This is the problem that Star Wars is having right now because it's got the weakest villain they've ever had. And it makes the heroes even weaker. Darth Vader was such a great villain that Luke's and his pals, like their fight and their conflict with him was made so much more amazing because you were just like, how could anyone go against Darth Vader? Anyways, That's what I want to see Doctor Doom. I don't want to see Doctor Doom on his own journey. I don't want to see the Brian Michael Bendis version of him. It's like, oh, I'm gonna be a good guy now, and it's like, no, 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 quit it. But I love Doctor Doom, so I'm torn. I spent way too much time on there. Symbiote Spider-Man. Um, yeah, look, this is Marvel saying, yeah, we understand that everyone liked Spider-Man back from the '90s, and we screwed up, so we're bringing it back. But now you've got this non-continuity book, and you're hired Peter David and the notorious tracer Greg Land. Yes, Greg Land traces comics. He doesn't. It's so sad. Um, to write a '90s comic. If there's anything more than saying we admit that comics were better back in the '90s, it's when you go back and you write '90s comics today. Um, just make Spider-Man like this. Hire Peter David to write Spider-Man. uh, oh man, Spider-Ham 105. Spider-Ham used to be a like parody comic. It didn't actually exist in the Marvel universe. It was called Peter Porker, the Spectacular Spider-Ham, and it was just a parody of Spider-Man, and meant to be a silly little kids comic uh, with silly antics, and it was fun. Like no one, but now they insist on making Spider-Ham part of the actual Marvel universe via the Spider-Verse, which there shouldn't be a Spider-Verse. I have no faith. I have no faith in this. Although I do like this cover here. It's pretty cool. Um, I just, I don't. Modern writers, they can't write comedy. There's very few funny comics, if any. Oh, seeing Peter Porker interact with actual Spider-Man, it breaks the fourth wall for me. Like it's just like, no, that's not. Um, Spider-Verse. Oh, speaking of Spider-Verse, can't have enough Spider-Man stuff. More Spider-Verse. Here's more Spider-Verse. Oh, I hate Gwen Stacy. I used to like her when she served the role as Peter Parker's girlfriend, and now it's like, no, 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 she's a spider person too, because everyone in Spider-Man's life gets spider powers. Isn't that how it works? Miles Morales, Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Venom, Double Trouble. There's another Spider-Man book. God, how many Spider-Man books are there? Oh, what the hell am I looking at? What the hell is this? What? Oh, God. Spider-Man. Oh, this is the J.J. Abrams book, and Henry Abrams. So I read the first issue of this, and I was really surprised. it's um, it's not the book that I expected. It's not the book that I wanted. I didn't even really want this book. Um, my only criticism about originally before it came out wasn't that they were doing this book at all, but more of how they like made a big deal out of it and how they promoted it. Like, oh, it's gonna be the greatest. It's like, no, no, no. You're just giving a kid who's never written a book in his life his own Spider-Man book. It's the antithesis of the what you preach against about white privilege and the patriarchy, and here you are doing this. But I read issue number one, um, and I always was hoping. I was like, I would tell people, Henry Abrams could be this great talent. We don't know. Maybe he's lived with his dad. His dad's big time. His dad didn't get to where he is, because he was the fry cook at Burger King. Like the guy's got talent. Um, so I read that first issue. It's really good. I was shocked. It's probably not the Spider-Man everyone's looking for, and some people are complaining because, spoiler alert, what you see here on this cover, this is not Spider-Man. This is Ben Parker, Peter Parker's son, and that's his love interest. Um, People were like, wait, I thought we were getting a story about Peter Parker and Mary Jane. If you're disappointed, I can understand that. You thought you were going to get something. You got the old bait and switch. Yes, that's a fair criticism. I'm right there. You have every reason to criticize, but the story itself, that does not affect the story itself. If the story, what you're actually getting is good or not. And so far, issue number one was really well done. Speaking of things that aren't well done, this book is terrible. Alas, poor Venom. Oh, what's this? Venom 21, Donny Cates, Mark Bagley. Oh, that's an interesting replacement to my favorite guy over there, Stegman. I like Bagley, but Bagley to me has always been the guy who rode the coattails of McFarlane and then Eric Larson. He's always been like the third best guy. He's the guy who comes off the bench. He did an admirable job, but he was never quite there. Uh, so the island, this is a cool cover. I like this. Is this Clayton Crane? Oh, that's nice. Spider-Man Velocity. Oh, this is the Gamerverse because this is so stupid. Because the game's story is more popular than the actual comics, so now the comics are adapting the game. It's not supposed to work that way, Marvel. Have you no shame? Have you no shame? Continuing on in the Gamerverse, now they've got this new Avengers game coming out, which looks terrible, by the way. I really hope they fix it up and make it good, but it looks terrible. And they're already doing Gamerverse comics surrounding that because they can't sell comics on their own. They can't sell comics on their own merit, so they're hoping that people buy the game. Oh, I like this game, and oh, cool, I can read comics. Will tell me more of the story. Because gamers will invest. Gamers love to have story and content and lore. But this is just all gimmicks. Just make good comics. King Thor. Jason Aaron ruined Thor for me, so I have no interest in this. The first issue of this is already out, and my boy Jimmy over at Comic Quirks, whose favorite Thor ever is the original Jason Aaron and Assad Ribic Thor. This is the sort of the continuation of the wrapping up story. That's his favorite Thor like ever, and his reaction to this book was kind of like, eh. So I was like, oh, this must be shit, because that guy loves, and like even if it was mediocre, he'd be like, it's so good, is what he would say. If you're listening, Jimmy, that was for you. Ta-Nehisi Coates and Jason Masters just continuing to shit all over Captain America, and Marvel Comics continuing to disguise it by hiring Alex Ross to make these great, fantastic looking covers that on the surface remind you of the great patriotic Captain America that you know and love. And then you open up inside. If you are actually read the book, which I think Marvel's banking on the fact that you're not reading these books. Because I know a lot of people, I see come in the store, they buy stacks of books and they don't read all of them. Al Ewing is writing Immortal Hulk. People like this. It's not my cup of tea. Plus, Al Ewing is a raging asshole to fans, so he can suck one. But if you are enjoying this book, I'm happy for you. I've heard nothing but good things. And it's good that comics are good. I just wish pros treated their fans better. Savage Avengers number 8. I reviewed the first issue of this, and it wasn't as terrible as I was expecting. This cover, seeing Conan facing Doctor Doom. I love Doctor Doom. This looks ridiculous to me. Doctor Doom would incinerate Conan in a blink of an eye. It's just and it's Pat Churcher, who's a raging asshole. I'm not gonna support this book, but Conan hates Wizard, but it's Holiday. He has to deal with both Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom. Ho ho, holy shit! Marvel just can't stop with the forced cursing either. Speaking of Jason Aaron ruining my childhood, what the hell am I looking at here? Starbrand Reborn Part 2. Thor is a brood? Oh, what? I don't know. Jason Aaron is Jason Aaron. Valkyrie, Jane Foster is what's going on here? Why is this stupid She-Thor on the cover? And why does Valkyrie have this weird mace? What is that? Like this Morning Star? This what? The Valkyries didn't have weapons like that. She should have a spear. Captain Marvel 13. Yay. Look at this. This is an actual cover of a Marvel comic book. Hey, cosplayers. Take pictures of yourself with a pouty face and send it into Marvel. Maybe you'll be featured on a cover. Yay. Leah Williams. So you know it's total garbage. Invaders, which is something I'm not reading because like I don't read very much Marvel, but I kind of want to go back and maybe get this in the trades and read it because everyone's telling me how good it is, and I'm like, well, it's Chip Zdarsky, so sure, like why wouldn't it be? Yeah, is this the original Human Torch? That's interesting. I have the modernized versions of these characters. Oh, interesting. It all ends here. Can Namor be redeemed as the world drowns, or will the spear crush the invaders and make the world in their image? Um, I can tell you right now, I haven't read it, but I'm pretty sure the spear will not crush the invaders and remake the world in their image because the Marvel Universe carries on. Avengers, History of the Marvel Universe according to Mark Waid. This should be titled The Revisionist History of the Marvel Universe, according to Mark Waid. So, no interest there. Magnificent Miss Marvel. This is another book that was victim of exactly what we talked about earlier. Just restart the numbering over. A new person came on, Saladin Ahmed, because only Muslims are allowed to write Miss Marvel. So this character will always suck because they will not allow meritocracy to interplay. It will always be the qualifier to write this character is be Muslim, and most likely hate America. Let's see, Dan Slott, Christos Gage, Francisco Mana, Tony Stark, Iron Man 2020. Here's another book that is getting canceled. Oh, jeez, it's like Marvel is just nothing but cancellations. But you have to cancel tons of books when you're launching. What that's like average of like 5 number ones every week. So that means you have to cancel that many. Black Panther, no one cares about. Oh, the final arc, who cares? Black Panther and the Agents of Wakanda. Jim Zub, he tries. He really does. I feel for the guy. Future Foundation is already canceled. Agents of Atlas, 5 of 5, so that I think they knew that was never going to be a deal. Dan Slott's Fantastic Four. They just don't know what to do with Dan Slott. They're like, well, we don't want to fire you, Dan, but we don't have a comic book for you. Fantastic Four should be a flagship Marvel title. It should be X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, Thor, Iron Man, the Avengers. I might be forgetting something, but those titles and maybe one or two that I'm forgetting off the top of my head should be sort of your staple core that you build the Marvel Universe around. It should have your top tier, your A-list writers and artists. Then you build B-list titles around those, right? You can have, and I'm sorry to say, I know people will be, that's racist, but Black Panther should be a B-list title. He just is. Daredevil is a B-list title. It has nothing to do with race or anything, in case anyone's trying to insinuate. It just there's only so much room at the top of the mountain, right? And B-list doesn't mean bad. It just means that it's not central to driving the comic. If Black Panther went away, the Marvel Universe would still be a semblance of the Marvel, But when Fantastic Four is gone, or the Avengers is gone, or there's no Spider-Man, you're just like, there's a gaping hole in the Marvel Universe. You can get rid of the Inhumans, and people are like, well, they have their fans. You can get rid of Moon Knight. It has its fans. Iron Fist, All these guys, they have their fans, but when they're not there, there's not a gaping hole. Anyways, my point is, put the best of the best. Marvel should be doing that. Instead, they keep, God, talking about B list. This is like F list Strike Force. This looks Teeny Howard. It's gonna be so good. Yondu gets his own book. This looks more like an Avatar. I look at that and I think of Avatar more than the James Cameron movie, more than I think of Yondu. A faithless storyline ends here. Guardians of the Galaxy number 12. Okay. I've been enjoying Guardians of the Galaxy. I hope it continues to be good. Swordmaster, don't care. Arrow, don't care. Old Man Quill. Ethan Sachs wrote the Old Man Hawkeye, which I heard nothing but great things. I want to catch up on trade. When this launched, it felt like a gimmick, but halfway through, people were like, oh, it's starting to get good. Like, this is a good story. It's interesting. So now I'm really curious. This Ethan Sachs guy is the second time he's making a name. Runaway looks like it's being converted over and being to J-Team. Such a dumb name. Daredevil. Chip Zdarsky, Marco Cicchetto. Oh my goodness. I'm reading through right now, trying to catch up. I love this series. It's so good. I'm in the second story arc right now where Cicchetto's not the artist, and I can see like people like pissed off because this artist that's doing it is not good. But the writing is still really strong. And if you are kind of on the fence about this, and you're not sure if this is for you or whatever, let me just tell you, this is like the Daredevil Netflix show. And before you tune out, because I know that show has its kind of detractors, it's the Daredevil Netflix show, but done Marvel Comics way. So it brings all the good stuff that you liked about the Daredevil Netflix show, but then makes it feel more comic booky, and it's not quite as slow. So, if you did like the show, absolutely you should read this comic, because it'll make you feel like the continuation of that show. And if you didn't like the show, think about things about the show that you did like, and imagine a comic book just focusing on those elements and just doing a really strong Daredevil comic. I recommend this. This is one of my top recommends for Marvel. And Mark Cicchetto is back on the book. Conan the Barbarian. You're either a Conan fan or you're not. I've never been a big Conan guy myself. It's not that I was against him. It's just, he's Conan. Okay, cool. He's a big barbarian dude who slays monsters and gets the women. I like the movies. It's cool. Don't like Jason Aaron, so I think the guy is way too, let's say, non-masculine to write a hyper-masculine man beast like Conan, but that's my opinion. Savage Sword of Conan 12. Just okay. There's more Conan. And here, if you like Conan, but you think that that's too much male representation, and there needs to be more women, then this is the book for you. So this is the Valeria book written by Meredith Finch. Of course, it has to be written by a woman, so you can get the female, because female love their violent barbarian stories. They just don't. It's just not fair that men get all the glory. So we have to have female. It's just no. It's just stupid. Either you're gonna like Conan or you're not. Don't feminize it. Star Wars: Rise of Kylo Ren. Finally, I hope this is final art. This is not final art. I've been criticizing some of these covers. They make Kylo Ren look like a little spud boy, and it's like, well, who do you is, Ash? Have you seen the movies? Okay, yeah, but my point is, he shouldn't be, right? You want him to be scary and vicious, and I look at this cover and I go, okay, this is a guy I can be afraid of. Charles Soule has gotten lots of positive recognition for his Star Wars stuff, so hopefully this might be good. Hopefully for fans. I don't buy Star Wars comics. Star Wars Saga number 1. What the hell is Star Wars Saga? I know they're canceling Star Wars. Are they gonna? I don't even know. Star Wars Empire Ascendant. Like, I can't keep track of all of these Star Wars books. It's like its own comic company. Like, Marvel needs to just make its own subsidiary like company, just Star Wars comics. Look at this. Here's a facsimile edition. Oh, look, and then here's Star Wars True Believers comics. It's just like how many Star Wars Target Vader, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. There's Star Wars Dr. Aphra. You're just inundated with piles and piles of Star Wars comics. We're just gagging, just puking Star Wars comics. Um, I don't know if you're hearing a little clicking. My dog's tapping on the door trying to get out, and I'm trying to rush through this so I can let her out. You're like, yeah, damn, it's about time, Ash. So I'm going to just kind of flip through here so you can see some cool statues. Oh, look at this Wolverine Omnibus #1, Volume 1 hardcover. So this, I guess there's going to be multiple. Look at this alternate cover there, which is like a redrawing of Frank Miller's. Who did this alternate? New printing, DM only. It's Steve McNiven. That's cool. But it's like the great Frank Miller. Like, I think I would do the Frank Miller cover. I don't want to. I would rather see that the homage cover on like a new Wolverine book. That's like, hey, I'm throwing back to the old Frank Miller. This is pretty cool though. It's got the Wolverine miniseries. It looks like. I'm hoping it's got the Wolverine miniseries. Does it have it in there? Oh. Yes, Wolverine 1 through 4. But it's got all these other Wolverine stories too. So it's $100 though. Oof. Silver Surfer Omnibus, new printing. Oh yeah. How many pages is that? 576 pages? Nice. Oh, this Wolverine Omnibus is 1,000 pages. Wait, why is it the Wolverine Omnibus 1,000 pages for $100? And the Silver Surfer's 500 pages for $100. Some shiesty over there, Marvel. Astonishing X-Men hardcover. This is 672 pages. You get the whole Astonishing X-Men run. That could be worth it to fans of that. Let's see, Marvel Fanfare. Captain America by Ta-Nehisi Coates, Volume 1 hardcover. Oh my gosh. I feel bad for anyone. Yeah, only $34.99. Yeah, you ain't selling that for $100. Oh, Marvel. It's like you just know. You just know that. Oh, look at this. Daredevil Electra Love and War Gallery Edition. $39. 376 pages. Oh, Donny Cates, Ryan Stegman. Trade paperbacks. Highly recommend these. Love those. Absolute Carnage is a lot of fun. Scream, skip, skip all the side stuff. Unless you're just a total diehard, it's just Thanos by Teeny Howard. Give me a break. Where does it end? Valkyrie, wall to wall, awesome. Newsarama. I love this book from cover to cover. The Beat. A definite must read and strong contender for best new title of 2019. Kaboom. Oh, give me a break. Wait a minute. Wait a second. What? Shenanigans. Amazing Spider-Man. Wall to wall, awesome. Newsarama. I love this book from cover to cover. The Beat. A definite must read and strong contender for best new title of 2019. Shenanigans. I'm calling it out. Oh, wait, look, they got different comics for Miles Morales. Oh, God. Oh. I'm trying to get to the end, guys. I know this video is long. Thank you so much for watching me this far. The Contagion isn't even out yet. What? We haven't even seen issue 1 of the cover. You're already soliciting a trade for $15? Okay, I'm not. I can wait till January. Yeah, I'm not gonna buy your silly floppies then, stupid Marvel. What are you doing? What are you doing? Punisher Kill Crew. I don't even know. Someone could tell me what this is about. I guess I could read down below, but I don't have time. Anyways, as I was saying, thank you so much for watching this far and enjoying. Hopefully you enjoyed flipping through these pages with me to see what's in the preview magazine. I'm trying to give at least a couple second delay on these pages so you can, see them yourself. And if anything is something you want to see, you just hit pause on the video and you can read yourself. You're going to see probably lots of Star Wars stuff here. I've heard good things about this original Ecstatics collection. Maybe I should check it out sometime if I ever have any time. Read old school New Mutants stuff. Old school Conan stuff for actual Conan fans. Look at this. If you're an actual Conan fan, just get all this. Well, you might already have it all, I guess. There's a bunch of Black Widow books I don't think anyone wants. Marvel Verse, Black Panther. What's a Marvel Verse? I don't even know. The gender swapped Moon Girl that gets completely subsidized by Marvel. She's the worst selling comic at Marvel, but yet one of the highest numbered comics. It just keeps going and going. This used to be. She has the honor of being the race swapped and gender swapped. This comic is totally woke because Moon Boy was a white kid. It was white boy. So Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur was the original, and they replaced her with Moon Girl, and she was also black. I love Scotty Young's pencils. This looks pretty neat. I wonder if that's good for kids. What is it? So here's the posters of all. Those don't look cool. Here's the checklist for you. Marvel's got 2 checklists, so let me put the full screen there. I think that's it. Yeah, that's it. So leave it on the checklist. Thank you so much for watching. As I was saying, it's hard for me to chew bubblegum and tap my head at the same time, but you guys have been great fans. It's not fans, sorry. Viewers. I don't like to think of anyone as a fan of me. You're friends. Like we're people. We're just comic fans, and I like to shoot the shit. I like to talk with people. Hopefully, you like to hear something I have to say. Maybe it makes good listening time while you're doing the dishes or on your drive home from work or whatever you find that time. And I know these videos get a little bit long, but it's the nature of the beast. Marvel makes 100+ comics every month, so the Marvel one is forever. So thanks for watching. Give me some feedback. Tell me what books you're interested in. And I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching.